The regret experiment. The room was silent, except for the steady drip of a leaky faucet in the corner. Shadows danced across the faces of 6 strangers sitting in a tight circle, the only light coming from the flickering candle at the center of the table. Dr. Ellis, a psychologist in his 60s, sat among them, his sharp gaze sweeping over each participant. His voice, calm yet piercing, shattered the silence. If you could go back 5 years, what would you change? A pause. Then, one by one, they spoke. Ethan, 42, divorced. I would have told her that I loved her. His voice broke. I let my pride destroy the only real love I ever had. Maya, 35, corporate executive. I would have quit my job and traveled. She exhaled. I kept waiting for the right time. Now I don't even know who I am anymore. David, 50, retired police officer. I would have spent more time with my son. He clenched his fists. Now he barely speaks to me. I missed his childhood chasing a career that never loved me back. The candle burned lower. The weight of their regrets hung heavy in the air, suffocating. Then Dr. Ellis leaned forward. His next words were barely above a whisper. What if I told you? You still have time. The group sat frozen. The thought seemed impossible. Ethan scoffed. You don't get second chances in real life, Doc. Dr. Ellis smiled, unshaken. Who told you that? Silence. Then, slowly, he reached into his bag and pulled out 6 envelopes, sliding one in front of each of them. Inside these envelopes is a challenge, one that forces you to face your regrets. Not tomorrow, not someday, but today. The room tensed. Hands hesitated before reaching out. Ethan's fingers trembled as he unfolded the letter. His heart nearly stopped as he read. Find her. Say the words you never did. Maya's breath caught in her throat. Book the flight. Go. No excuses. David's vision blurred as he read his. Call your son. Tell him you're sorry. Tell him you love him. The others read theirs in silence. Their faces changed, not just with fear, but with something they hadn't felt in years. Hope. Dr. Ellis leaned back, his expression unreadable. You say you would have done things differently if you had the chance. His voice softened. This is your chance. Ethan swallowed hard. Maya's pulse raced. David clenched his letter like a lifeline. For the first time in years, time didn't feel like an enemy. The candle flickered one last time before going out, but this time, when the darkness settled, they were no longer afraid. They still had time. Core lesson. Time is not the enemy. Inaction is at its core. The regret experiment teaches us that regret is not caused by time passing, but by failing to act when we have the chance. The characters in the story believe their past mistakes are irreversible, that they have lost their only opportunity to make things right. However, Dr. Ellis challenges this belief, revealing a truth that many overlook. Regret becomes permanent only if we refuse to take action in the present. The moment the participants receive their envelopes, they are given a choice: continue living in regret or finally take responsibility for their happiness. This is the true lesson. The power to change our lives has always been within us, but only if we are willing to act.